thanks for joining us. I'm Kallista Solyn, and you're watching NLC Trans. Tonight I'm here with my dear friends and co-hosts, Daryl Alexander and Stacey Dozier. And we have an extra special guest tonight, who, if you've been watching tonight, you've already seen, because he is just on Street Talk with Father Carmichael. We have attorney Daryl Finizio.
Hello.
Who is a prospective candidate for mayor in November here in New London, and we're going to ask you all about that stuff. And we're going to ask you all sorts of personal questions because
Good.
Tara and I were kind of talking about this before the show. We kind of want to dig into who you are.
Who is this person? Anyway?
Obviously, you know.
Time for the woman's perspective.
Well, yeah, you know, if you've been watching Father Russ's show, you know, I'm sure you got all the political stuff.
Intense political stuff.
But we're going to go a little more personal with
Good.
you. But certainly, and by the way, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. I have my green flower.
So you have your green flower?
I don't have. I have to buy a green dress. Anyway, so I guess we sort of want to know a little bit about who you are. You're going to be hopefully running. I assume there's going to be a primary. You and Mike Bassetto.
Yes, there are two declared Democrats, and I am declared candidate, filed candidate. Myself and Councilor Bassetto are the only two so far who have. Others may come forward or may not. At this point, I think we're getting to the stage where if there's any others, we should know soon.
Yeah, I would think so.
Or it's probably going to be what it's been since December now. The three names that people are hearing.
Yeah. So we're assuming that you'll be running in the fall against Rob Perot, I assume.
Well, that is what everybody assumes. That we're gonna go all the way through, and that in December we'll be mayor. But the voters of New London will have the ultimate say on that.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. My understanding is we haven't actually had a real mayor here in New London since what, the 1920s?
Yeah, this is a first.
So it's kind of interesting.
It is, and it's a very historically significant election, if nothing else for that reason, and should get a lot of attention as a result. So hopefully we'll have a very good discussion and debate, because it's going to be a turning point for the city. You know, we're switching forms of government. We have our first mayor, and it's a strong mayor. Who's going to be in not for 2 years, but for 4 and/or longer. So this is a big election. This is a very big election.
It's cool. We love New London, and you know, yeah, it's sort of the turning point for New London. But New London's a great place. So so we're kind of excited about the whole thing.
And you love New London.
Absolutely. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, it's great. I mean, I love New London for the community that is New London. I mean, when I think about New London, when I always thought about New London, when I started coming to New London as an adult and met my partner here and everything, you know, it was the people here. It was the community here. It was the things that you could do here that brought me into New London. It wasn't the bricks and mortar and buildings. But once I was here, I saw all the other things that New London has and says, my God, you know, not only is it a great community, it's got a lot going for it too, and could really do, you know, even better. But come what may, even if this office hadn't been created or wasn't created or whoever fills it, I was coming here anyway, and I'm staying anyway. So, you know, if anybody needs me, they know where to find me. I'm not going away. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
So you're living here now and practicing here.
Yes, I do. I practice from my home, but I very limited practice. I take just a couple of clients, usually former clients who have, you know, some other need, will or something, and you know, I help them with it. But my primary activity right now has been teaching at Northeastern University, where I teach urban law and policy, and am finishing up a PhD. But after this April, I won't be teaching up there anymore. I may be teaching for the UNH MPA program extension at Mitchell College. Just found that out a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
And/or practicing, and/or being mayor. We'll see how that works out. But hopefully soon, hopefully next month, I'll be here in New London for good, one way or the other, and have the commute done away with, which has not been fun. It's been a great job, it's been a great experience, but I won't miss driving up and back, or taking the train up and back to Boston all the time.
Yeah, that's a bit of a haul.
It's a haul. It's a haul.
And trains. I was sort of looking at the trains a while back, and that's kind of a pain in the neck. But yeah, that's so. Mitchell, we love Mitchell. We spend a lot of time at Mitchell, and we have connections there too. So that's kind of cool.
So you've said that if, in the event of your election, you'll be a full-time mayor.
Correct.
So you'll be focusing solely on...
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
If elected, I would immediately, attorney ethics actually require that I give up my legal practice.
Okay.
And I would stop teaching wherever I was teaching at that point.
Okay.
No. If I'm elected mayor, that's it. And for the greater part of the campaign, with the exception of perhaps that one adjunct teaching position in the fall, to pay the bills until we know the result of the election. But apart from that, I'll be a full-time candidate as well. I think to really run this race and do it right, I have to be willing to take a good 6 to 10 months and just say, that's it, we're doing this. And then obviously if we win, that's it from there on out,
sure.
Until people decide it's time to send me to do something else, which they may well do very quickly, who knows.
So you've had a really interesting work history from what I saw on your resume, being everywhere from page in the Senate, working in law firms. I was curious if sort of let the voters get to know you a little bit better.
Sure. Well, I've been working in public service since I was about 15 years old, and was always drawn towards it, even though there are always opportunities, particularly when you have a law degree or an MPA like I do, to make more money doing other things. What always attracted me was public service, because I always felt the greatest fulfillment when you're working in the interests of others. I just think that that's what life's about, as far as I'm concerned, and I've always felt that way. So it's no surprise that I've, been in a lot of different public service-oriented jobs and have pursued that in my educational training as well. But I'm here in New London without the intention of actually doing this. That's the funny thing. I moved to New London because I just love New London. I met my partner. He's a native of New London, and our community was here. And I don't think a lot of people realize that if they're not in the gay community or the queer community,
right,
that New London is a place where we have a sizable population.
Yeah.
New London is a place where we have restaurants and bars and community centers and organizations and
yep,
softball teams and bowling leagues and public access TV shows. And, there's a lot here, and I think that was very attractive to me. And also what attracted me was the broader diversity in the city. And let me give you one example of what I mean.
Sure.
My partner, when I met him, was waiting tables in the summer during his early years of teaching at the Portuguese Fisherman in Hodges Square. And
she loves that.
that's where I hung out.
Yes.
That's where I hung out all the time. So when I first really started to get to know New London, it was that neighborhood.
Yeah,
it wasn't the neighborhood I live in now, which I'm still finding my way around some of the streets. The north side of the city is where I spent most of my time. And what I liked was that you saw every type of person. And when I joined the boxing gym on Bank Street 4 years ago, same thing, every type of person. We joined our church at All Souls Unitarian about 5 years ago, same thing, all types of people, everywhere you went. And in New London, more than anywhere else I've ever lived, more than any other city I've ever studied or visited, I saw more interracial couples in New London than I've seen anywhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think people, and you've mentioned that to people, and people go, yeah, you're right. I really, wow, I never thought about that. I noticed that. But that really spoke to me, because that's a special place, where there's that much diversity and that much intermingling within the community, where it's not just that you see every stripe, but every stripe has its own little pocket.
Right.
Here we're all in doing the same things at every establishment, at every center. And that's just special. And my partner and I, almost within the first 3 months, I think, of meeting, said, boy, wouldn't it be great to live in New London someday?
Yeah.
And for 5 years, we were trying, and I moved from Rhode Island and repositioned my career, and we tried to sell his house that we refinanced and fixed up, and we were watching, and the market was high, we couldn't afford the homes, and then we just caught it just right. The housing market dipped. The interest rates were low. We found a buyer for our house. Everything worked out, and it was very stressful, and it was a lot of work. And we land in the new house, and we're like, whew, we made it, and this is great, and we're both teachers, and we're just going to, do our enjoy this, and isn't this spectacular? And then I open up the paper one day, and it says, New London considering mayoral form of government. I went, oh no. Just when I thought I was out,
Yeah.
So it kind of came about that way. It certainly wasn't. I think, as we've gone around, people have said, oh, you moved to New London to run for mayor. I said, no, nothing could be farther from the truth. It is what it is, and it happened when it happened, and we're doing it for the reasons we're doing it. But believe me, I thought I'd be down at Ocean Beach in a Hawaiian shirt with nobody knowing who I am. But maybe not. Maybe not.
Well, and to the point now that your campaign is sponsoring the New London St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Yeah, you tell us
and
about
we
that.
are thrilled. I got a call from Dan McSparron, Marie McSparron, who run the parade, and they said they had lost some sponsorship because Pfizer used to sponsor the parade, and Pfizer stopped, and Pfizer pulled out of New London. And one of the big things in my...
you were supposed to mention their name.
the dark name. And one of my big complaints has been that that's a problem with our economic development strategies, that we've looked to big companies like that instead of small businesses. And the St. Patrick's Day Parade was started by small businesses. Former Mayor Kevin Kavanaugh, ceremonial Mayor Kavanaugh, and Diarmid Hanifin of Hanifin's Pub, started the parade. It was local people like the McSparrons who work in neighborhood associations and stuff who kept this thing going. And the parade brings out local people to participate, enjoy, and then afterwards, after the parade, everyone goes to the local small businesses in downtown. So it's a great thing for the community. And they needed money, and I said, absolutely, we'll do as much as we can. So we made a $2,500 sponsorship, which was the most we could afford to do. But I was happy to do it. And part of the reason I was happy was that I'm Irish. My mother is a McMahon, and the McMahons have been in New London and New London County since the 1840s. So we've been here a long, long time. And my mom and I, from 1991 to 1999, in the summers, ran an Irish store, an Irish import store in Watch Hill, Rhode Island, and that was our family business. So not only are we Irish, we ran an Irish small business. So the opportunity to participate in the parade was just a good thing to do. It was a great source of personal pride for me. And also, one of the things that impressed me is that, as you know, but maybe some of the viewers don't, gay community and gay organizations and queer organizations and GLBT organizations and the Irish parades around the country have had a tough history. In Boston, Irish gay and lesbian groups wanted to integrate the parade.